right, welcome to the X22 Report. My name is Dave, and this is episode 205, and today's date is November 2nd, 2013, and the title of this episode is The Current Economic Collapse News Brief for this Saturday. Now, what is happening out in the Middle East, Russia now is boosting arms sales to Syria. Russia has increased its weapons shipment to Syria and to Assad, and what they are doing is they are helping with the civil war there. Now, Russia still has ships in the Mediterranean, and what they have done is they have just sailed in two other ships into the Mediterranean. It's an aircraft carrier killer and a battle cruiser. They just arrived, and this is the flagship of Russia's Pacific Fleet and the country's most powerful nuclear-powered battleship. And what they're doing there is they're going to perform some various tasks, and they'll perform these tasks with the other Russian Navy ships and vessels stationed in the region. And the admiral of the fleet said that the Russian Navy is set up to build its presence in the Mediterranean Sea, particularly the area close to Syria's shores. It intends to increase its number of battleships in the area to up to 10. Now, why would they be doing this if there is peace? Because the U.S. agreed with Russia and Syria to disarm and destroy the chemical weapons. Why would Russia need to start building up the forces in this area at this time? Because we understand, and they understand, that the central bankers are not going to stop. They understand how they work, and they understand that the U.S. dollar is on the verge of collapsing. And at this point, the U.S. central bankers are losing control of the Middle East, and they see this all playing out. Now, we do have a lot of propaganda coming out of Iran, or reporting that it is coming out from Iran. Now, Iran wants to have these peace talks. They haven't started any type of conflict within over like 200 years right now. They've never started a war within this time period. And right now, the propaganda that's coming out, they're saying that the Revolutionary Guard is creating songs that they're singing that are death to America. We also have Panetta, Hagel, and other officials out there saying that it looks like the only way to really end Iran's nuclear program and to stop them from building a nuclear weapon is to have some type of military strike. And we see this happening, and we understand that this is building up in that area. And we also understand that Iran is moving away and joining the BRIC nation, which will make it very difficult for the U.S. government to impose sanctions on this country. So we see Israel right now flying in military aircraft and bombing and destroying missile depots in Syria, and they've done this twice already, and Syria has not retaliated back, and Israel is trying to provoke something. And the central bankers and the U.S. government understand that the only way to get something done, to get a war started, is to bring some type of an event back here in the U.S. to have something happen. And I've mentioned this many, many times. So we understand this is what's happening, and this is why Russia is building up its fleet in this area. They are now in talks with Egypt to use their port there, and we can see what is happening, and this is a very clear picture of what is going to happen. Now, we understand here in the U.S. that the central bankers want control of two things: the creation of money and the flow of information, and the control of the people, of course. They have the control and the creation of creating money. They have control of the corporate media, of that flow of information. They feed them what they want them to say and what they want them to believe. They feed them with different videos so they can broadcast that out. The only thing they don't control is the alternative media, the internet. And this is a very big problem for them. And right now, there are 10 mega corporations that control the output of almost everything you buy right now. And that is from household products to batteries. These corporations create the chain of supplies that flow from one another. Each chain begins at one of the 10 super companies. So they control pretty much everything that you're eating, everything that you're buying, everything that you're doing. And this was their whole plan. 90% of the media is now controlled by just 6 companies. The 10 largest financial institutions hold 54% of our total financial assets. In 1990, they only held 20%. The number of banks has dropped from more than 12,500 to about 8,000. And we can see what is happening. They are continually consolidating, and making it easier for them, and getting rid of those people who do not want to follow along with this. And they are continually molding and shaping and creating what they want. And the last frontier is the internet and the alternative media. Now, why am I saying all of this? Well, this leads me into what is happening now with the shooting at the LA airport and what they found on this shooter. Now, there are many, many inconsistencies and many things going on with this. So what do we know? Well, we know that there was some type of drill that was taking place on October 2nd, 2013, and this was held at the LA Ontario International Airport, and it was an active shooter drill. And what this whole entire drill out there, what they did was, this whole scenario was a single-armed man shooting 3 people before officers came and locked down the whole entire scene. And this drill that they had consisted of 300 police officers, and they had consisted of massive fire department presence, dozens of vehicles. It included the FBI, the ATF, DHS, and they performed this, and it was very similar to what happened in LA. And even at the time, the police chief on air admitted that they had this drill to be prepared for this exact same event. Now, they had this on October 2nd, and exactly 1 month, they had the exact same event occur. Now, during the shooting, a lot of witnesses were reporting that the alleged shooter was much bigger than the suspect right now. They also said that he was dressed like a TSA agent. He was wearing the same type of uniform. So there's something wrong right there. And a lot of the witnesses also stated that he was not carrying an assault rifle. He was carrying a handgun and a shotgun. So there's something wrong and something that's going on, and most of the time they start rewriting the story to make it the way they want. And we have to remember that the government controls the media. There are only 6 major corporations that feed all the stories right now. Now, during this same time, and many people don't realize this, that the LA airport removed their armed airport police, which were in place for many years prior, and they removed them about a few months ago. Instead of having the officers stay at each checkpoint, and these are armed officers, they decided to have them as roving patrols, to walk around instead of staying at the side of TSA and being at each checkpoint. So, in Terminal 3, during the shooting, none of the officers were at their checkpoints because they changed the way they did things about a month or two ago, and now they are roving around the airport. Now, what they found in this suspect, they found information. The materials found were something that refers to the New World Order, as well as anti-TSA and anti-government claims. And, this was on CNN. They're reporting this. And it's not clear what gave rise to this. The federal investigators have found known links to known groups or anything in the suspect's background to explain them, but the New World Order is generally considered to be a conspiracy theory in which people suspect a group of elites is conspiring to form and control the entire world with a one-world government. And this is being published in CNN right now. What do you think they're trying to do at this point? So what do we have here? We have a drill that was taking place about a month prior that was the exact same event that took place on November 1st. We have a man in California, which is Dianne Feinstein's state, where they're trying to pass a gun bill. He is carrying an assault weapon, and they also reported that he had multiple magazines, and with these multiple magazines, he would be able to shoot everyone in the terminal. This was also reported in CNN. What are they trying to do there? Well, they're trying to limit the number of bullets in a magazine. This is the whole Dianne Feinstein law that she's trying to pass. What else do we know? Well, we understand that they have the UN Arms Treaty that is pending in the Senate. So let's put this together. They have a man, and he's carrying an assault rifle. He has literature that he's anti-government, some conspiracy theorists about New World Order, anti-TSA, and he goes in and shoots 3 people just like the event the police officers trained for. Now, to me, all this put together is an event to push some type of an agenda. And how do we know that they're pushing this? Because they are continually keeping this up on all the corporately owned media to push out what they're trying to do. There is a video out there that shows them rushing this man in a wheelchair. His arm is dangling, and the reporters are saying that he is injured, and here comes one of them. But when you look at this man, he looks like a dummy. And if you look at his shirt, there are no blood stains. There's no blood anywhere. There's nothing. There's no bandages. There's absolutely nothing. So when we look at this, and we look at the whole entire picture, we can see what they're trying to do. Number one, they're trying to tell people why would they bring up New World Order? The only reason people bring this up is because they fear that this is getting too widespread and there are too many people realizing what's going on. That's the only reason they would have to put this in there. And you can see what is happening. They are becoming very concerned with all the alternative media, with the internet buzz, with people looking too closely at what's going on. And now they're trying to set up some type of conspiracy theorist type of thing to make the people look a little crazy. And this is how they play the game. And they're getting worried, or they wouldn't have mentioned it. People only mention things when they are nervous and worried. And this is why they're throwing this stuff in there. They're also throwing in the anti-government, letting people realize that people with the assault rifles who are anti-government might try these things like you've seen on the corporate media. And we can see what is happening at this time. They are definitely pushing the gun agenda because we understand it is a fact that they are trying to disarm the American people. And when you start looking at this, we see things that start to fall apart. Listen, everyone, thanks a lot for listening. Be well, be safe, and especially be prepared. Thanks a lot.